All right. You guys, we seriously need to talk about Kim Kardashian because this past week has been nothing short of explosive for her. It's been emotionally charged, headline dominating, and frankly, a lot to take in. Not only is she having to confront and relive the trauma of her terrifying Paris robbery, yes, that infamous incident, but on top of that, rumors have been swirling like wildfire that Kanye West, her ex-husband, is threatening to sue her. And the drama? It's reportedly all tied to their kids. Now, when it comes to the whole parenting situation between Kim and Kanye, public opinion has been pretty divided, but lately, a lot more people are siding with Kim. Why? Because, quite honestly, many feel like Kanye's recent behavior doesn't exactly scream model co-parent. And to be fair, it's been a full-on circus of issues, accusations, and emotional tension. So today, we're diving deep into everything that has been happening, what Kim has been dealing with in court, what Kanye's been allegedly trying to pull, and how the internet is reacting to all of it. Let us rewind a little bit and start at the beginning with the Paris robbery trial, because that whole situation is absolutely wild. Recently, Kim Kardashian returned to Paris to testify in court, facing the men who traumatized her during that infamous night years ago. These men referred to by the French press as the Grandpa Robbers. Yes, that's the actual nickname. The media gave them are the ones who tied her up in her luxury hotel room and stole more than $10 million worth of her jewelry. That's right, $10 million. But what has got people talking now isn't just the chilling details of the robbery or Kim's testimony as her appearance during the trial. Kim has been making a serious statement by showing up to court draped literally dripping in diamonds. And naturally, this has people talking. Some are asking, wait, isn't this the same woman who was robbed because of her jewelry? Isn't this a bit risky? But honestly, I see it as a bold and defiant statement, a kind of power move. It's Kim's way of sending a message to those who tried to break her. You didn't win. You didn't take me down. I'm still here. And I'm even more untouchable now than I was then. And it makes sense. Imagine being in her shoes. She legitimately thought she was going to die that night. She was bound, gagged, left completely vulnerable. The fear must have been paralyzing. So now, years later, she walks into that courtroom with an air of authority and control. It's like she's saying, you tried to silence me, to rob me of my peace and my safety, and I came out the other side even stronger. Adding another layer to the drama is the fact that one of the robbers had the audacity to write a book. Yeah, a whole book. The title, I Kidnapped Kim Kardashian. I mean, the nerve in his press rounds promoting the book. He actually claimed he didn't even know who she was at the time. He said he realized only the next day when the story exploded across international news outlets. He later expressed regret, but honestly, how much of that is real remorse? And how much is just him trying to control the narrative? Now, in the current trial, Kim took the stand to recount the traumatic events of that night. And the press has been covering every word, every detail. NPR reported that during her emotional testimony in the courtroom, which was packed, by the way, Kim was asked by the judge why her security team wasn't with her at the time of the robbery. And her answer was heartbreaking, but honest. She explained that her regular security team had accompanied her sister Courtney to a nearby club, while Kim stayed behind at the hotel. At the time, they never thought they needed round-the-clock security. They'd traveled to Paris many times before and always felt completely safe. That one moment of perceived safety changed everything. Since the robbery, Kim revealed her entire life has changed. She now hires up to 6 security guards to patrol her house just at night. And emotionally, the trauma hasn't left her. She said she developed a real phobia of going out because anytime she was spotted in public, she feared people would see her and assume that her home was empty and vulnerable. She shared that she can't even sleep at night unless she knows her house is being guarded by multiple people. That's how deep the fear still runs. And to make matters worse, just when she thought the worst was behind her, her Los Angeles home was burglarized before the family even made it back from Paris. Like, let that sink in. The trauma wasn't just limited to one city, one night. It followed her home. So, what happened in court? Well, 8 men were eventually found guilty of their involvement in the robbery. But here's the twist. Most of them won't serve additional time in prison. Why? Because of their age, their health, and the fact that they had already served significant time behind bars. It's a bitter pill to swallow. Justice was served on paper, but not quite in practice. Now, let's go back to Kim's fashion choices in court, because this part really set the internet ablaze. For a long time after the robbery, Kim completely stopped wearing expensive jewelry. She didn't want to be seen as a target. But now, she's rocking jewels like armor. When she posted photos of herself headed into court, it was clear this wasn't just another paparazzi moment. She posed. She knew the photos would circulate, and she wanted the world, especially those men, to see her owning her power, reclaiming her image, and refusing to live in fear. Still, not everyone was impressed. Some people criticized her online, saying it felt more like a fashion shoot than a court appearance. One comment read, "Why is this a whole photo shoot? Girl, you're going to court, not the red carpet." Some even joked that this outfit should have been saved for the Met Gala. And honestly, I kind of agree. That look was Met Gala level. But the intent was clear. She was not going to let fear or judgment dictate how she showed up. Now, while all of that was happening in Paris, back in the States, there was another storm brewing, and this one was about Kanye. Allegedly, there was a cease and desist letter floating around, supposedly from Kanye's legal team, claiming he was preparing to sue Kim for violating their custody agreement. And let me tell you, it was a mess. The document, which started circulating online, looked legit at first glance. It appeared to be from a law firm named JB Law, dated May 8th, and addressed to Kim's attorney Laura Wasser. The letter accused Kim of unauthorized use of their children's images, particularly their daughter North, on social media and at high-profile events like the Met Gala. It also claimed that Kanye was being denied access to his kids, that Kim was exploiting North for public appearances, and that she was breaching the terms of their custody agreement. But here's the thing: upon closer inspection, the whole thing fell apart. TMZ looked into it and discovered a ton of red flags. First of all, the law firm supposedly behind the letter doesn't even seem to exist, at least not in the location it claimed. The website didn't work, the phone number was a dead end, and no real record of the firm could be found. Even if Kanye had retained this attorney, it wouldn't have made much sense, because to fight a custody case in California, the lawyer would have to be licensed to practice there. Eventually, both TMZ and E! News confirmed that the letter was a hoax. It was a fake. But by the time that was made clear, the internet had already run with the story. People were debating whether Kanye was preparing for a new custody battle, and the speculation just spiraled. Now, here's the sad truth. Even though the letter wasn't real, the tension between Kim and Kanye over their co-parenting dynamic is very real. It is not a secret that they haven't always seen eye to eye when it comes to raising their 4 kids. And Kanye has made his grievances public on social media, in interviews, even through his music. One of the most controversial moments was when Kanye dropped a song earlier this year that featured their daughter North's voice without Kim's permission. Kim had made it clear that she didn't want North involved in the track, but Kanye went ahead with it anyway. And if that weren't enough, the song featured Diddy at a time when Diddy himself was facing serious backlash and legal trouble. It just wasn't a good look. Like, why associate your child with that kind of controversy? This is exactly why so many people, whether they love or hate Kim, have been rallying around her. Even critics of the Kardashian empire have admitted that Kim seems to be the more grounded and stable parent in this situation. People worry about the choices Kanye might make if he had more decision-making power. Remember when he tried to start his own school, Donda Academy? He was pushing for North to attend, but the school wasn't even accredited, and it had bizarre elements like kids taking parkour classes and eating sushi every day. It felt more like a passion project than a structured academic environment. So, yeah. Between the courtroom confrontations in Paris and the wild, swirling drama involving fake lawsuits, co-parenting challenges, and emotional trauma, Kim Kardashian has been through a lot lately. And love her or not, one thing's for sure, she's standing tall, making bold moves, and refusing to be silenced by fear, intimidation, or false narratives.